We're back here on episode 4 of A Hearty Conversation.
Or 2.
Of course, Sean, Chris, we were talking a minute ago before we had to interrupt the feed about Samoa Joe turning heel. Samoa Joe has been heel before. Honestly, I think Joe works better as a heel. However, I was really starting to get into Joe as the respectable babyface. You know, the babyface that's out there respecting the heritage and everything and not being the greedy, typical heel. I don't know. What do you think, Chris, about Joe's heel turn? Did it surprise you as much as it did me?
It did. When you told me the results after I was working, I'm like, Joe did what? I was very surprised on Joe turning heel and helping Kurt Angle, giving Kurt the belt, literally saying, hey, Kurt, take the belt, put it there, you become champion, I'll be your biggest Samoan bitch. Pretty much.
And we don't know yet, but I'm pretty sure that Joe has just gotten a spot in the Mafia. We will find out on Thursday for sure.
Yep.
Or if it was just a respect thing that he really respects Kurt after the wars they've had in TNA.
Like 2 years.
Yeah, seriously. Ever since Kurt Angle came to TNA, Joe and Angle have been feuding. They have had some classic matches.
True.
So maybe that's the reason that he joined the Mafia. Maybe Kurt was the advisor all along. Maybe something with Taz fell through. You guys out there in cyberspace, let us know your thoughts. Send us questions, comments about it. What do you think about Joe's heel turn? What do you think about Angle on the heels of Ric Flair's 16 world title reigns? Let us know. We'll address it. But first, we have
a lot of questions. Thank you to all you girls and guys out there in Hardy and TNA and W Space that wrote us questions. So,
first is off of MySpace, and it is from the user Punk Sucks.
Great name. Love that.
I wonder who you don't like.
Seriously.
He has a question just directed towards me and a question directed just towards you. So let's go ahead and get yours out of the way first.
Alright.
Question for Chris is, Sean did his Dream Diva match last week. What would yours be? Just for clarification, it wasn't exactly a dream matchup. It's just something unique and original I think WWE should give a try to.
Sure.
But in any event, what is your Dream Diva match?
If I had to do it, I'd do it in the past. Right now, I mean, I would put like Trish, Lita, and Victoria probably in like a ladder match or a steel cage match. Because I mean, Trish and Victoria had some nice hardcore feuds where they were using everything in the book. I think Lita was in a steel cage match with, I think, Victoria at one point, so...
It was a Raw Roulette.
Yeah, so I would put those three divas in a match in that era. This era right now, I'd probably put something in with Mickie James and Beth Phoenix on Raw. Probably be a hardcore match or like a steel cage, just get them out of their elements, see what they can do. So that would probably be my Dream Diva match.
Okay. And Punk Sucks' question for me is, which WWE title would I bring back? Who would hold it? And what brand would it go on? That's a very, very good question. One of my favorite championships has always been the European title. So if I had to bring a championship back, I would probably bring back the European Championship. I would make it exclusive to ECW because they need another title. And I'd probably give it to Evan Bourne. Just because he needs gold around his waist. The fact that he has been in the company this long and hasn't even gotten a tag title run with somebody. I mean, hell, about 6 months ago they had him teaming up with Rey Mysterio before Evan Bourne got injured. And I seriously thought they were going to push them towards the tag titles. They were that high impact of a team.
Yeah.
But yeah, to answer your question, it would be the European title on ECW, and I'd make the first champion Evan Bourne.
Very nice. Good question, Punk Sucks.
Very good question.
Good name.
Shannon Hardy, a.k.a. Jeff's girl, has a question for us. She wants to know, who do we think will win at the Bash, Jeff or Punk? We'll get into that when we do our predictions a little bit later.
On part 3.
But she also has another match, or another question. She says, I like the Money in the Bank ladder diva idea. If you had to make up a brand new match for WWE, what would it be?
Mine would be a free fall barbed wire match. Now, for all you XPW fans out there, there's a match with New Jack, and I forget who the other person was. Basically, you put a structure above the ring, and the guys fight on it. It's like a
Similar to a scaffold match for you old school wrestling fans.
yes. So we would have, like, say, CM Punk and Jeff Hardy on top of there fighting, and then to win the match, first of all, the ring would be surrounded with barbed wire all around the ring, and there would be thumbtacks in the ring. Every part of the ring will be filled with thumbtacks. So Punk on the top of Jeff will be fighting with weapons. You have to knock the person down in the ring, which would probably be like 20 feet, and you have to pin the person in the ring to win. So let's say Punk falls down on his butt, and thousands of thumbtacks get on his back. Jeff is a swanton bomb, pins him 1, 2, 3, and your new world champion, Jeff Hardy. That would be my new match.
My only problem with that match, Chris, is that I don't think WWE would want to put the bodies of their talent on the line to that extreme. You know, the scaffold match that you're talking about between New Jack and I believe it was Vic Grimes. Perhaps our stat boy out there in Cyberland, LB Kid, can research that and let us know for sure. But I believe it was Vicious Vic Grimes and New Jack. Vic Grimes almost died. The way he fell and hit the rope, very much to the same effect that Owen Hart did. The only difference is that it wasn't his head hitting the turnbuckle, it was his back hitting the rope. And he was able to survive that.
Yeah.
He did not wrestle for a few months after that. He was seriously injured. They had to kick everybody out of the arena ASAP so that the medics could get in there and take care of him. And as much as you don't like Punk, I don't think you would wish that kind of injury on him or anybody else in the talent roster. That's my only problem with that match. It's just not realistic. Not that mine is either, but I would combine the best of two matches. It would be a Hell in a Cell TLC match.
That would be awesome.
You would have the belt hanging through the very, very top of the cell. TLC weapons in place, plus whatever else may be conveniently laying around under the ring, like sledgehammers, thumbtacks, barbed wire 2x4s, hornswoggle, yeah. You know, any of that type of stuff. And it would be a standard TLC match, but it would be contested within the confines of Hell in a Cell.
So that would probably be the one out of our two that would probably make it on WWE television.
Yeah. And I think Jeff is just crazy enough to suggest it.
Oh yeah, what's up?
Super Mario, I Love Scarlet Pain. Okay. My friend has a question for you guys. What are your feelings on Jeff winning the title for the second time and then Punk cashing in the briefcase on him? For you, Super Mario, I Love Scarlet Pain, I got one thing to say. Tell your friend to watch episode 2. We did that already. We're not going to do that again.
Yeah.
About 5 minutes into it, this guy goes on a rant. Tell your friend to just fast forward to about the 5-minute mark.
No, it was a pretty
he
good
can get
rant.
his question
It was
answered.
a pretty good rant. Everyone out in the cyberspace loved that. They thought it was very hilarious. I got many comments on how good my comment was.
Not saying it was bad. I'm just saying we've been there, done that. We did that in episode 2. We touched on it a bit in episode 3. We're not going to get on it again in episode 4.
True. Just like our friend Jeff Meacham on No DQ said. So, we'll be back with part 3 of episode 4 of our Hardy Conversation.